high-speed Wi-Fi. It's the fastest 2 hours on the radio, covering it all from the Fighting Tigers of LSU to the tracks of NASCAR on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Now, here's Ronnie Rance, Tommy Krysan, and Hunter McCann.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Shorts Radio, August 1. Hello, August. Goodbye, July. As we're ready to roll into August, which means football, whether that's high school, college, NFL. Everybody has reported in the case of the NFL and the Saints. LSU will be reporting soon, as will the Raging Cajuns and the McNeese Cowboys. So good morning, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Lake Charles. We got a 2-hour Sports Shorts Radio coming for you, live from Bat Daddy's in Plaquemine. They're doing a little expansion here. They're going to have some more elbow room coming up here real soon. We'll tell you about the sandwich of the month and everything else here at Fat Daddy's or Little Daddy's in Plaquemine. Also today, we'll tell you about River of Life capsules. I took mine this morning. Court Street Cafe in Port Allen. Marchand's Interior and Hardware, your premier flooring dealer in the greater Baton Rouge area. The Island Golf Course, where the team Sports Shorts will be playing golf soon as the weather cools down a little bit. And then, of course, Lake Charles Gumbo Gators. We're going to talk all about that in a minute. Hunter, also, you got tell us about.
Yeah, about Gage, of course, Tommy, because you got to get yourself a come-in standby generator to protect your home and business this hurricane season.
Well, I'm Tommy Krysan along with Hunter McCann. Ronnie Rance not in person today here at Fat Daddy's. He has got reason not to be here. The Lake Charles Gumbo Gators of the Texas Collegiate League advanced to the championship game, which will be played tonight in Victoria, Texas, against the Victoria Generals. The Gumbo Gators got really hot down the stretch, got into the playoffs, won 2 straight from the Acadiana Cane Cutters in a best-of-3 series. So Ronnie Rance is with the Gumbo Gators. He owns that team, in case you didn't know that. He also does own the Baton Rouge Rougarou, who their defending championship crown will be given up tonight to either Victoria or to Lake Charles. So Ronnie's going to join us on the phone at about 11 a.m. To talk with us today. Also, everybody wants to know about Joel Davis. He is scheduled to join us at approximately 10:30, but he's really busy at Woodenhaven Furniture on Government Street, so it may be 11:30. But we'll keep you posted because we're here till 12 noon, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and Lake Charles. Now, let's tell you about the sandwich of the month here at Fat Daddy's. Buffalo chicken biscuits. It's a fried chicken patty tossed in buffalo sauce with pepper jack cheese in their house dressing, and you get 2 of them for $12.99. That's the sandwich of the month. Very popular thing here.
I'm all in, Tommy, on that.
And we're always
all in.
First Saturday of the month. To tell you, first Saturday of the month happens to be August 1 today. So you're all in on that?
Oh, I'm 100% all in on that. Of course, you know anything about me, I love me a good buffalo chicken anything.
Whoa, now we know. Just as long as there's no bacon on it.
Correct, yeah.
Hunter's not a bacon guy, for those of you
To find any reason to bring that back up.
I'll probably go with my Sharon special, my go-to, the hot roast beef with melted Swiss cheese, onions, and gravy. Oh, man, that's really good. I'm leaning to that, as I always do, Hunter, when I'm here. But you never know. Might have to do the biscuit thing. But they got plenty more for you here at Fat Daddy's, Little Daddy's. They're going to open the door. The doors are open now at 10 a.m. here. Come on by, get you something, get it to go. Check it all out. Right here, they got the appetizers. They got all the po' boys, the seafood dinners, soups and salads, everything you need. And you can get your cold beer, a cold cocktail. And they are expanding here at Fat Daddy's. I noticed when we walked in, Hunter.
There's a big hole in the wall,
There's a hole in the wall, which is going to be a doorway or a pass-through. And but no, so anyway, Fat Daddies, we love coming out here once a month. Also, do want to bag it up and thank last week we were out at Tracy Furlow Insurance Agency down in Gonzales. What a fun time that was, Hunter. Her 5-year anniversary of being in business, customer appreciation party, Tracy Furlow Insurance, Goosehead Insurance, right there in Gonzales. That was a lot of fun.
No, it was a great time, and her and her team were fantastic to both of us, and fantastic to everybody that came through the door. So I really excited to see where her business goes over there, and how far it has come in those 5 years since she started her own insurance firm, and has really just taken off and bloomed in the community.
Yeah, no, so that was cool and fun to be out there last week. Next week we'll be at Bally's Baton Rouge Casino and Hotel, and our show is going to move on the clock from 9 to 11 next week due to the NFL draft on the ESPN affiliates in Baton Rouge.
Not the draft, the NFL Hall of Fame
induction. My bad.
Yeah.
For Baton Rouge, Lafayette Lake Charles, you'll be able to do the NFL induction thing next week. So we'll go 9 to 11 from the Bally's Baton Rouge Casino and Hotel downtown Baton Rouge. So, Hunter, what's been up in your world this week with sports?
Man, it's been busy, but it's really the clock is officially countdown. You get to August, and like you mentioned at the top of the show, football is the top priority of the mind right now. Tigers play in just a little bit over a month, September 5, in the Real Death Valley, right down the road from here and back in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The Tigers will take on the Tigers of Clemson. And a rematch from last year. The Tigers still a 10.5-point favorite as of August 1st this morning. But this month also, we do get football this month, not just preseason NFL football. We get real football and the college world starting as early as August 29th. That'll be week 0, as they call it. I know you hate the term week 0 because why? But either way, week 0, there will be football played in the last Saturday of August, and that includes the Southern Jaguars. They'll be on the road in Birmingham playing Alabama State to open up their season with head coach Marshall Faulk now at the helm there at Southern. So there's a lot of hype around Baton Rouge with new head coaches with Faulk and with Kiffin. We're almost there.
LSU's going to play Southern again.
They will in a few years.
All right, we've got some comments here. See, they're listening to Lake Charles. Bryce Boudreaux, the PA voice, the on-field guy for the Gumbo Gators. It's a great day to be a Gumbo Gator. Go Gators feeding time because they're playing for the Texas Collegiate League Championship tonight. Johnny Bolin, another big Gumbo Gators supporter, excited for tonight's TCL Championship game with the Lake Charles Gumbo Gators against the Victoria Generals. He's taking a jab here. You ready for this?
Hit me.
He said Victoria is the home of Stone Cold, but the Gators will be doing the stunning tonight.
There we go. I love it.
Tip of the hat to Johnny. Huh?
Love that. Love a nice Steve Austin reference. But I think the recipe for success, Tommy, might be having Ronnie Rance own a team. I mean, last year, of course, right here in town, the Baton Rouge Rougarou bring home the TCL championship. Ronnie goes and purchases the Gumbo Gators, a team that didn't even make the playoffs last year. And not only did they make it through the playoffs, they're one game away from being crowned champions of their own. So Rance may be able to double up on the bling of the two teams.
One for each hand.
Yeah, what an investment so far.
And look, we got it up on the screen, gumbogators.com. And then if you want to watch the game, not everybody can go to Victoria, Texas.
Of course.
It's about an hour and 45 minutes the other side of Houston, kind of southwest of Houston. So, or you can go to TexasCollegiateLeague.com. The game, first pitch is at 7 o'clock or just a minute or two after. You can get the stream at TexasCollegiateLeague.com. That's for all you folks in Lake Charles, maybe some Acadiana Cane Cutter fans want to check it out. Baton Rouge Rougarou, who are the defending league champs. They're hoping the title stays in Louisiana. So does Ronnie Rance. So GumboGators.com, Texas Collegiate League. I want you to check that out. Again, we're Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and Lake Charles. 104.5 ESPN in Baton Rouge, ESPN Southwest Louisiana, covering the Lafayette and Lake Charles markets. And again, we're at Fat Daddy's in Plaquemine. Appreciate everybody being tuned in. Enjoy all the comments. If you have a particular question for Hunter McCann or myself, you can throw it up on the comments section. We got a bunch of people that have commented already, and we'll fire it. We can't fire them all up. We can't do every single one of them every single time, but we'll do what we can.
So TK, you asked about this week. I think the biggest thing, of course, I was over at training camp for the Saints this week.
Were you?
Yeah.
You went down to Metairie?
They went down to Metairie on Wednesday and Thursday. It was hot as all get out. But for the start of training camp, Wednesday, of course, fantastic. Brian Brzee, though, goes down with an ACL injury that's going to end his season. It's not, and he had an ACL injury in college. It is not the same knee that's given him the issue. So it looks like he's going to get a second opinion. Nothing has been 100% confirmed, but it looks like his season may be over. And then for both those days I was down there, Wednesday and Thursday, didn't see any Chris Olave on the field during team drills. He was doing individual drills and everything, but that was because he was a hold-in up until Friday when he signed a huge extension contract for 4 years with the Saints that included $90 million in guaranteed money. Will make him the sixth highest paid receiver currently in the NFL. Olave said him and the Saints kind of went to the middle ground. He wanted a little bit more. The Saints wanted a little bit less. They agreed on the middle number, which ended up being 4 years. You had the exact number, 100 and
it could be worth up to 132
132, but 90 million guaranteed.
Right. Now, I want your thoughts on that, because Chris Olave, when healthy, and when, rocking and rolling, is very productive.
Well,
he is one of the best receivers in the league at times, but he has had some concussion issues. He has had another injury or two. All players get hurt, get injuries. We get that, but some of those have kept him off the field. So, Hunter, you and we'll get Joel Davis's comments again. Joel will either join us at 10:30 or 11:30. That's pending. But when I first saw Olave, I'm thinking, man, if healthy, this is great. And maybe that's why he had to meet in the middle a little bit on the contract, knowing he hadn't been on the field as much as he'd like.
Sure, and it's almost to me a misrepresentation of Olave. I think a lot of people remember that 2024 season with the concussions and the injuries and things like that, and just think that that's how it's always been, and forget what happened the year prior. So he's played now in the NFL 4 years, and that season in 2024. With Derek Carr and everything, he only played 8 games, and that's really where the whole storyline came. Oh, you can't stay healthy, can't stay on the field, blah blah blah. But in the other 3 seasons that he's played, the guy's played 15 or more games, so he's not staying off the field very often. And in those seasons where he played 15 plus games, he was over 1,000 yards, including last season where he arguably had his most productive season, especially in those last 7 games or so. Went north of 1,000 yards. He had 9 touchdowns on the year, and he was playing some of his best ball, that connection with Tyler Shuck. So I think everything's trending in the right direction for Olave. I don't know if the injuries are as big a concern. Actually, look at his availability. I mean, last season he played 16 games last year, and like I mentioned, in 2023 and 2022 played 15 games and 16 games respectively. The guy's when healthy has been a difference maker for the Saints. So if they really do believe in Tyler Shuck, Tommy, and they really believe they have the quarterback of the future, you got to take some chances and building the pieces around him. And an obvious piece that had shown productivity with Tyler Shuck, even only in a small sample size, was Chris Olave. I mean, he was easily the number 1 target last year with a bunch of, plumbers on the team last year at the wide receiving core. It was Olave and the guy off the street. That's all it was last year. It was Olave and Bub Memes, and that was about it. Because remember the Saints traded for Vele. Vele had 1 good game, and then he went out injured, and they still found ways to win games down the stretch. So I think it's a great thing. I'm happy the Saints didn't have to spend any more than that. I think Olave, in my opinion, had earned that money, and it's better to lock him down now, because if things really do work out how you hope it does with a combination of Olave and Tyson, one of them opening up the other, it could be a really big year for the Saints, and you don't really want him being on the end of his contract and then having to fight even more to keep him in New Orleans. So they keep him long-term for another 4 years or so. And I think, like you said, when healthy, and he has been healthy most of his career, he's a difference maker for this team.
All right. Before we go to break, let's tell everybody about River of Life capsules, Hunter. I got it up on the screen, the website address, riveroflifecapsules.com. I took my 2 capsules this morning. They got a new formula. I went over and saw Patrick Scallon at his office about a week ago or so, picked me up another bottle of capsules and new formula. It definitely makes a difference. I mean, if you got aches and pains, little bumps and bruises and inflammation, mental clarity. I mean, this is the pill. Riveroflifecapsules.com. You can go to the website and read all about it. You can get a free consultation with Patrick. You can buy a bottle. They'll ship it to you. I've been on it for over 2.5 years now. Riveroflifecapsules.com. Team Sports Shorts is big fans of that, whether it's Derry Beckwith and his knees, Ronnie Rance, and the fact that he's finally getting real old. And, of course, Hunter, you're a big fan of River of Life capsules as well.
I am. We talked about it last week. I got a couple pills still left in the bottle. I took some this morning, actually. Woke up, my back was killing me. Took some. I feel great now sitting here at Fat Daddy's. And I actually just talked with Patrick. Patrick was just texting me. He's telling me I got to swing by this week and grab that new bottle because I want to try that
new
formula.
Look, it's perfect. I take 2 most mornings. Every now and then I'll take 1. I'm getting ready to get real busy at school over at Most Blessed Sacraments. I'll be taking 2 a day.
I believe it.
Riveroflifecapsules.com. You need to check that out as soon as you can. You won't be disappointed. All right, we're going to take a break. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Lake Charles. We're going to come back from Fat Daddy's, where it's buffalo chicken biscuits is the sandwich of the month, and now we got some being brought out to the
there
table.
we go.
Hunter is all about that.
Oh, yeah, we're trying one each.
Yeah, there we go. We got the buffalo. Let me tell you about this. Fried chicken patty, tossed in buffalo sauce, pepper jack cheese on a biscuit, house dressing. And you get 2 of them for $12.99. What a deal that is.
Look at that biscuit,
and
man.
Today's only August 1, so you got all month to come by. And they change it up every month, but it's the buffalo chicken biscuits, and we've just been brought a sample here on the I can show this on the for those of you on the camera.
Those
there you
great.
go, the buffalo chicken biscuits. That's pretty cool. All right, we're going to take that break. When we come back, we'll keep talking about the New Orleans Saints, LSU.
Talk about who could replace Brian Brzee on that defensive line.
We'll get into everything. Hunter's the guru. With Hunter McCann, I'm Tommy Krysan, Ronnie Rance in Victoria, Texas, awaiting the Texas Collegiate League Championship game tonight, which features the Lake Charles Gumbo Gators and the Victoria Generals. We'll also tell you more about that. All right. Commercial break. We're back at Fat Daddy's in Plaquemine after this pause. Hunter McCann, Tommy Krysan, ESPN Radio. Stay with us.
This is Sports Shorts Radio.
We continue with Sports Shorts Radio. Baton Rouge, Lafayette and Lake Charles got a message on the screen. Go Gumbo Gators from one of their fans, Aunt Marcia, Ronnie's aunt, who I've met many times. She's like, go Gumbo Gators. Everybody rallying behind the Gumbo Gators, who are in Victoria, Texas. 7 o'clock first pitch tonight. You can watch it at TexasCollegiateLeague.com. The Gumbo Gators try to keep the championship of the Texas Collegiate League in Louisiana. Going to be a tough challenge. This is the fourth straight year Victoria's been at a championship game. 3 years ago, they lost to Acadiana Cane Cutters. Then they won it. Then they lost to Baton Rouge, and now they're playing Lake Charles. So go Gumbo Gators. That's kind of going to be the theme here. All right, Hunter McCann, Tommy Chrysan with you here on this Saturday morning. Hello, August, as we said. Hunter, let's talk some more about the New Orleans Saints. We talked about Breesy, the defensive lineman, out for the year, a non-contact drill injury, ACL. Not the ACL that he had a problem with at Clemson, but what's next for the Saints? I mean, Hunter, you hate to say it this way, but I'm gonna, because the injuries are part of sports. If it had to happen, you wanted it to happen last week, because now you got the entire fall camp exhibition season to figure out how you're going to proceed without Breesy. Hunter, sum it up for us.
Yeah, well, so Breesy goes down with the ACL, like we mentioned last segment, and now you're kind of like missing an interior lineman, and it's now going to be kind of who's going to step up in that role. The last year in the third round, they took Vernon Broughton, who a lot of Saints fans may not know. He only played in one game last season, and in that game against the 49ers, he suffered a season-ending left hip injury. But he's back. He's at full speed. He was at camp. He kind of stepped up in that role on Thursday when I got to see them in team drills and taking some reps. There's also a lot of rotation there, though, so it's not like it's his job to lose or anything like that, but it seems that he was taking most of the first-team reps. Nathan Shepard, a veteran guy, also getting some looks there. And then Christian Miller, who Saints fans may not know as well, he was the second-round draft pick this year for the New Orleans Saints that they want to hopefully have to be a big run stopper. So the rookie getting a lot of looks as well. So it's going to be kind of, who can step. The Saints have depth this year, something that they didn't have a few years ago on both sides of the ball. The offensive line is still not as much depth as you maybe want, but it's better than it was since post-2020. So hopefully they'll be able to have a defensive tackle that steps up in camp and shows something. But Brzez's a big loss because of the fact that he had those reps and he had been relatively consistent. And last season was his best season. It didn't show up as much on the stats with sacks and things like that, but he got his face in the hands of quarterbacks very often, caused a lot of disruption, which doesn't always get tacked to those stat sheets. So there's a lot that the Saints can do at that position to be able to rebound, but you still have your core on the outside. Still going to have the combination of Cam Jordan and Chase Young causing disruption there. It's more about filling that interior gap where the Saints last year in the back half of the year were so much better, Tommy, at stopping the run than they were at the beginning of the year. And so that's been their main focus of being able to solidify the middle of their defensive line to not be able to get run through as much as they were the past few years. So with Brzee out, that's going to be the next step, and we'll see between the combination of those three guys, it looks like we'll be able to fill that role.
So you went Thursday?
Went Wednesday and Thursday.
This was a WBRZ thing?
Correct, yes. Yeah, went Wednesday and Thursday.
Was it hot?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was
how crowded was it? Wasn't
very
both
crowded.
Open to the public?
No, only Thursdays was open to the public.
Wednesday was not. That was the first practice.
Wednesday was the first practice of the season, closed to the public. Very hot. But Thursday was even hotter than Wednesday. And it could be a combination of two things that I say that. Wednesday, we only were able to shoot a small portion of practice. Thursday, we were able to shoot the entire thing because as it was open to the public, we got to shoot the whole thing. But a huge turnout on a Thursday morning at the end of July for the New Orleans Saints. And there was a lot of energy, a lot of fans clapping. The first touchdown of joint practice was Tyler Shuck to Jordan Tyson. And everybody really enjoyed and really hoped that come the beginning of September, they're hearing Shuck to Tyson multiple times throughout the season in the end zone. But Tyson looked great. He looks healthy, which is great to know because they're in mini camp and OTAs. We didn't get to see much of them. But he looked at full speed this week so far, and he was making some moves and putting some defenders on skates, some very veteran defenders on skates. So high expectations for New Orleans this year, Tommy.
All right, what was it like to watch Tyler Shuck, field level?
Sure.
You're not in the press box, you're not in the bleachers, the stands, whatever. Your impressions of Tyler Shuck in person, field level, about as close as you're going to get to him unless you get on the sidelines for a Saints game.
I wasn't the only one to say this either. He looks like a veteran, which is very interesting. He's very comfortable.
The body language,
everything.
The old eyeball test, as we like to say.
Everything. He does not – he knows exactly where he wants the ball to go and where the other 5 options he has immediately. And you could just see him go through his progressions
quickly.
So easily. Very easily. He knows exactly – he has a plan A through Z. And he checks them off and almost instantaneously to figure out which one's going to work. And, they're not at full pads. They're not going 100% speed. But something about the eyeball test just tells me that guy knows exactly what he's doing in every single situation. And not only, and I'm not comparing him to Drew Brees. I mean, I'm going to put that right here.
Well,
but
no,
I'm
you can't do that yet. That'd be unfair.
Not on the same planet currently. But the way he went through his progressions was that veteran-like thing that you saw from Drew that you would go, man, he was just so sharp with it, things like that. Plus, you had the mobility. He was able to roll in and out of the pocket so easily and hit guys on the run. And I just really liked what I saw here at camp. I really do. I mean, I really hope that in year 2 he really does take that next step where he was already so sharp last year. Being able to have a guy like that is able to make the tough throw but know exactly where to put the ball in every situation is an unmatched thing in the NFL, because there's a difference between having just the arm talent and having the athletic ability, but having it between the ears takes you to a whole nother level, which is why Drew was so good. So, there's like I said, I think we're putting a lot of expectations on this guy for only seeing him for, half of a season last year. But he plays the part.
He is 27 years old.
He will be in about a month.
27 years old. So, you say, okay, second year with the Saints. Years ago when you said second year, the guy was 22, 23 years old, maybe 24. So I like that experience. I like the fact that he bounced around to a lot of different colleges. Okay, that looks like whatever when it's happening, but we're all products of our experiences. The more experiences, the better the product. He saw a lot that he probably doesn't want to take with him, and he saw some stuff that helped him be where he is today. I want to ask you this question. How was the reaction of the teammates to Shuck? I mean, you know what you're looking at. You know what I mean by that question. How was it, the vibes between he and his teammates? Because it's all about the quarterback in the NFL, college, high school, for that matter.
Well, so Cam Jordan said, and he in the past is very blunt and very honest with a lot of things, especially during training camp. But he and Justin Reed talked about on Wednesday how they really do believe they have the pieces to compete here. They're right now, the only thing they're worried about is making it into the playoffs. Because after that, you have a chance for a Super Bowl. You don't make it to the playoffs, you have no chance for a Super Bowl.
Right.
So their goal right now is just make it into the playoffs and see what you can do. But they believe they have the pieces to not only just with Tyler Shuck, but to surround Tyler Shuck and make a run. And not only that, but during the offseason, we saw
we shouldn't do this on the air, but you need water.
I'll take a water. Thank you.
Hey, they're taking care of us here.
They are taking care of us.
They'll take care of you too. Hunter needs the water. We're going to tell you about the
biscuit was fantastic.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're good.
I knew you needed some water. Yeah, I get you napkins. I'm getting you water.
You're the best.
I mean, where would you be without me today,
honestly,
Hunter?
I don't know, Tommy. I really don't know. But during the offseason, you talk about teammates and Tyler Shuck. They took the opportunity during the offseason. Him and Jawan Johnson and a couple other guys all traveled together and went to San Diego. They worked out. Drew Brees met them over there and did some work with them, and he's doing all the right things of trying to make chemistry and bonding with his teammates. Him and Jawan actually lived together in a house while they were over there, and Jawan talked about just how great their relationship and the chemistry, and it's just he talked about it. He's like, it's so weird when you just spend time with somebody outside of on the field, but somehow you now have some type of link. He's like, we're on the same page about everything, and we didn't it didn't even have to be that we were running routes over and over again to try to get on the same page. Now that we have a personal connection, it's like he reads my mind and I read his, and those are the type of things you love to see, the human aspect of forming a connection, and they're doing all the right things off the field to do that. But Jawan said him and Tyler and their families spent a lot of time playing board games and going to they went to SeaWorld together. He told a story about going to SeaWorld and everything, and trying to just get to know each other better as teammates so that the on-the-field production kind of bases off of that. So, but trust me, they put in a lot of on-the-field work as well.
All right, before we go to break, I remind you about Court Street Cafe, our good friends, right up Highway 1 in Port Allen. breakfast, lunch, dinner. Tonight is steak night at Court Street Cafe. Sunday brunch, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. tomorrow. That's awesome stuff. Jason and the staff do a super job at Court Street Cafe. In fact, I'll be out there Monday night for Sports Shorts Monday at 6:30. I'll be live in the restaurant bar area of the Court Street Cafe in Port Allen. Great way to keep up is connect on Facebook and Instagram. You'll learn about the lunch specials, on Facebook, the lunch specials, the dinner specials, drink specials, and anything else going on. Court Street Cafe in Port Allen. All right, we're going to try to connect with Joel Davis during this break. He's a maybe. If he doesn't join us after this break, we expect him to join us after the 11:30 break. He's very busy at Wooden Haven Furniture on Government Street in Baton Rouge. So Joel might be joining us. We're going to go to break. Braxton's doing a great job back in the studios of 104.5 ESPN.
I killed my biscuit.
Yeah, you killed it. We're going to tell
him
all about the biscuit that used to be in front of Hunter when we come back to Fat Daddy's in Plaquemine. Doors are open. Come on by with Hunter McCann. I'm Tommy Chrysan. We'll be back after this pause. ESPN Radio, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and Lake Charles.
Now back to Sports Shorts Radio.
We continue with Sports Shorts Radio on this Saturday morning, August the 1st. Hello, August. Goodbye, July. With Hunter McCann, I'm Tommy Chrysan. Ronnie Rance in Victoria, Texas for the Texas Collegiate League Championship game tonight. One game, winner takes all. The semifinals with best of three. This is one game, winner takes all. Victoria Generals fourth straight year in the championship game, lost to Baton Rouge last year in the finals. They'll take on the Lake Charles Gumbo Gators. Go Gators. We hope they keep that title in Louisiana. Ronnie will join us at about 11 a.m., and he'll give us an update on that game tonight. You can watch it if you go to TexasCollegiateLeague.com. You can watch it on the stream tonight. Hunter has devoured his Sandwich of the Month special that came out here today at Fat Daddy's in Plaquemine. You need to stop by. Buffalo chicken biscuits. You get a fried chicken patty tossed in the buffalo sauce, pepper jack cheese, the house dressing. You get two of them for $12.99. We had two of them. Now we have 1.5 left because Hunter devoured his. Hunter, your rating on the Sandwich of the Month here at Fat Daddy's, the Buffalo Chicken Biscuits.
They're 10 out of 10, man. I mean, so the thing that makes a sandwich, of course, is the car that it drives in on. In this case, it's the biscuit. And that was a soft, fluffy, delicious biscuit. And that buffalo sauce was great. So I'd recommend coming to grab one for sure. I mean, you get two, like you said, two. Me and you, I didn't need a second one. Trust me, I'm full off the one. You can come bring a date this week over at Fat Daddy's and Little Daddy's, and for $12.99, share a meal with them because they're big enough to be able to serve just one of them be good for one person. Well, real good though. What'd you think? You had half of yours.
Yeah, a little about half of it. I was busy with some messaging, but it's very.
Yeah, you're
very
working.
good.
I'm just eating, right?
Well, and they got everything here at Fat Daddy's: the appetizers, the po' boys, the seafood dinners, the barbecue brisket, the kids menu. They got barbecue pork ribs, barbecue pulled pork, soups and salads, a couple of desserts. They got it all for you here at Fat Daddy's in Plaquemine. You need to stop by. We're here on the first Saturday of each and every month, which puts us here today. All right, Hunter, let's talk some LSU football. We were not able to connect with Joel Davis. He's very busy over at Wooden Haven Furniture. We'll try to reach him in hour number 2. Hunter, Lane Kiffin did the annual LSU head coach talk at the Rotary Club thing. All indications are it went well. That's an annual event on everybody's calendar. And LSU football, the players will report this coming week. They'll begin practicing this coming week, and we're not that far from September 5 weeks from today, right? 5 Saturdays from today. The Clemson Tigers come into Baton Rouge to take on the LSU Tigers. That's a 6:30 kick that night in Tiger Stadium.
And I got an update on that game.
ESPN Game Day will be here.
Game Day will be here. That game will air on WBRC.
Still have anybody working at ESPN? I'm just trying to be funny.
Yeah, they still got that crew, and that's about it. That's it. The Game Day crew and everybody else has been kicked out the door. As of 5 minutes ago, if you were waiting for a good line to take LSU Clemson, you think they're going to win big, you want to take it, we are below 10 now.
What?
Folks. 9.5 now. The Tigers are 9.5-point favorites against Clemson. You can get it at $1.20 right now on FanDuel is what I'm looking at. So minus 120 at 9.5 right now between LSU and Clemson for September 5th. So if you've been waiting for that line to drop down below double digits, we are here. Go grab it now. So I'm not saying that's the best bet for that game, but if that's the bet you believe it was going to be the way that game turns out, we're below. You ain't got to buy anything to get below that 10.5 or 11.5 mark. So 9.5 points.
Why do you think it moved?
I said from the beginning this game would get back below 10 points because anytime you see a double-digit spread like that this early on in the year, people are going to buy back the other way. 100%. Everybody at this point is like, first year. It's the same reason why it may work out well or may not work out well for LSU. LSU's playing with house money this year because you can look back at the end of this season and go, man, well, why do we even think it was going to work out when it was year one or Lane Kiffin and a brand new offensive scheme with brand new assistant coaches with a brand new quarterback and 70% of the players are brand new to the program. Why did we ever think they were going to win more than 8 games? Or you look at it the other way and you say, man, of course it worked out because they spent $1 bajillion on these players, and Lane Kiffin had so much success at his other programs he's been at, especially Ole Miss last season, and Sam Levitt, we expected to take that next step and be kind of back to his 2024 form, and that's exactly what he was. You're playing with house money. You're going to be able to look at hindsight after this and realize that it all makes sense what happened to the LSU Tigers. But for that reason, there are people on the other side of the coin that, first of all, hate Lane Kiffin and hate LSU. and think they're gonna, if they win this game, they're gonna win on a field goal, and that's gonna be into that. So they're gonna buy back down on Clemson side. So I'm not looking at the actual dollar amounts in front of me right now, what where the percentages are for money coming down on Clemson and LSU. But a 2-point drop in the last 2 weeks. Remember, it was 11.5 in the middle of July. It's now 9.5 here, August 1st. Tells me that people are buying in that Clemson's not going to get curb stomped when they come into Tiger Stadium in a month. But if you're on the other side of the coin, and for the reasons I just listed, why LSU is going to be successful this year with the money they've spent in Lane Kiffin, the head coach, and the juice that's going to be, I would keep using that word, but it's the only thing I can really describe it, the juice that's going to be around campus with College game day and the opening of the season here and the first home game and for Baton Rouge in week 1 since 2020, where only a quarter of the fans were allowed to be there for Mississippi State LSU in 2020. There's a multitude of reasons why LSU would have the clear momentum advantage in this game. So from a betting standpoint, it's probably just the money, Tommy.
How much more can that possibly move in 5 weeks?
I think it could get as low as 8.5. I'm not sure it'll get any lower. Like, that's what I'm saying. If you're really high on LSU and you think they're going to win by double digits, take it now. Go take it now before.
You don't think it goes back up?
I think it could, and that's why I'm saying go take it now. I think personally, I wouldn't be surprised if week of we see it like that Monday or Tuesday. You see, if it stays at 9.5, you know what I mean? Like if it stays right here, you could see it drop to 8.5. I don't think it'll get any lower than that. Knock on wood, without any significant injuries one way or the other. I don't see it jumping more than a point one way or the other. But this is about probably where it'll stay. It'll probably close at 10.5, between 8.5 and 10.5. So if you like it here and you don't want to have to buy the point to get back below that special number of 10, you can take it right now at 9.5 over at FanDuel.
Well, and again, you got 5 weeks from today. And, of course, the week of the game, everything will get magnified and amplified up a little bit with the excitement throughout the country, really, for the beginning of college football. I don't know about that week 0 stuff. There's a handful of games then, but
including the Southern Jaguars.
The Jaguars play there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good. Marshall Faulk, we'll see. They're picked way down in the SWAC.
Yeah,
SWAC
there's low expect. Well, they currently are still having a quarterback battle, so there's a lot of uncertainty within year 1 of Marshall Faulk, and I think it's going to be one of those things. The productivity is going to have to be what shows up on the field. There's not a lot of high expectations in his first year. He hadn't really got to have the opportunity to recruit and bring in players that he wants. So we'll see how year 1 goes. But, yeah, low expectations right now for the Jaguars. But, I mean, after you finished the season last year when you only won 2 games, and one of those games came in the last game of the season against Grambling last year, you're supposed to have low expectations.
Well, and when you beat Grambling, if you're a Southern fan, that helps.
Oh, that was their
soothe a few wounds.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, and also Raging Cajuns in the Sun Belt, McNeese Cowboys in the Southland. As we come into these coming weeks, we'll get you updated on all those squads and how they're expected to do in their respective conferences and whatnot. And then, in Louisiana Tech, the Bulldogs come to Baton Rouge in week 2 on the 12th. A lot of excitement in Southeastern with Hammond and Hammond with Southeastern. And you got Nichols and Thibodeau. Tulane got some high hopes this year. So college football's there. And Hunter, I always do this. I've done this for almost 40 years now. Don't forget high school football. I'm so big. No, I'm not saying you were.
Yeah.
I'm talking to all the people.
Correct.
From Lake Charles to Lafayette to Baton Rouge. Anybody listening on the stream or the app or watching on Facebook or X or YouTube. High school football, man, it's so good in Louisiana, and been reading some reports on some of the teams. I know of many, many coaches that are good friends of mine. My nephew's a head coach at Covenant High School, and they're expected to have a good team this year. So don't forget the high school guys. They're all working just as hard as the Saints and your favorite college team.
Well, and on top of all that, we're talking LSU right now. You bring up week 1 with Clemson, week 2 with La Tech. Week 3, the Tigers head to Oxville for that reunion of LSU Ole Miss, and the off-the-field activities continue between LSU and Ole Miss. This week, Ole Miss sued 2 of LSU's new players that were at one point signed on to be back with the Rebels in 2026. Devin Harper and Princewell Uman-Milan both receiving lawsuits from Ole Miss, seeking nearly $1 million in penalties split between both of them. Apparently, what is being alleged is it was a break in confidential revenue sharing agreement they signed before transferring to LSU. And doing so, Princewell Umemelan received $550,000 allegedly for that contract and that NIL extension to stay with the Rebels. And Devin Harper received $400,000 for the same reason. They both received those funds, and then within 2 weeks of each other, or 2 weeks of signing those, within days of each other, hop ship over to LSU. And Ole Miss, shortly after that, reached out to them, requesting back the funds and everything. And after 30 days, did not hear back from them, officially filed a lawsuit that is now in motion. Apparently, also in March, reached out to LSU for assistance in recollecting that nearly $1 million in NIL money that was distributed between the two players. And LSU said, we're staying out of this.
Yeah,
we were not mentioned in the contract. We have nothing to do with the contract. You handle your own problems, Ole Miss.
And don't think there's not lots of suits nationwide.
Oh, absolutely.
All over the place, there's stuff going on.
That's what happens when you jump around, man.
Yeah, I mean, the NCAA is such a mess, and we're going to get into some of that in hour number 2. Hunter, it's August, and knock on wood, Louisiana's been pretty good in the storm season so far. But tell us how they can further protect their home and their business. Tell us all about Gage.
Yeah, well, like you mentioned, this time of the year is when everybody starts to worry about those seasons. But luckily, we're in a super El Nino right now, and if you don't know what that means, it means you have a better chance of not having a major hurricane. You never can say a 0% chance, but a better chance that the capital area will not see a major storm. But you always want to have your home and business protected. If it's not this hurricane season, it's for hurricane seasons in the future. And the best way to do that in Louisiana is by having a come-in standby generator from Gage. Generators are in stock. They can be installed in just a few weeks. And Gage has been in business since 1980. They're the number one Cummins dealer in the Gulf South. You can trust them to protect your family and your home and your business. And you can contact Gage at 225-753-4243. Or you can visit them online at gage.cloud to get yourself a Cummins standby generator.
All right, don't forget, we're at Fat Daddy's here. We're here the first Saturday of every month. Next week, we'll be at Bally's Baton Rouge Casino and Hotel. But we remind you about the Sandwich of the Month, which they just kicked off today. The buffalo chicken biscuits, fried chicken patty, tossed in buffalo sauce, throw some pepper jack cheese on there, their house dressing. You get 2 of them for $12.99. Hunter has devoured theirs.
It's gone, man.
His already. Mine's mostly gone. I'll get another bite during the next break. That's the Sandwich of the Month for the month of August here at Fat Daddy's in Plaquemine. You need to stop by. Like we said, they are expanding here. They're going to have some more elbow room for you, more tables, more gaming stuff. It's all here at Fat Daddy's, Little Daddy's on LeBeau Street, LeBeau Avenue in Plaquemine, Louisiana. And don't forget, I got a text message. If you want to watch that Lake Charles Victoria Texas Collegiate League Championship game tonight, go to TexasCollegiateLeague.com. I think it'll cost you $10 to watch it. No big deal. Lake Charles, one game for all the marbles, one game for the Haddock Trophy, which Baton Rouge is going to have to turn over to the winner. It's either going to be the Lake Charles Gumbo Gators or the Victoria Generals tonight in Victoria, Texas. So we do want you to check that out. And we will speak to Ronnie Rance in about 15 minutes and get an update on that game and get some of Ronnie's thoughts in the world of sports. We're at Fat Daddy's, Little Daddy's in Plaquemine. Hunter McCann, Tommy Chrysan. Like and share this show, no matter how you're watching YouTube, Facebook, or X. That helps everybody. We'll take a break. We'll come back with the final segment of hour number 1. We're here till 12 noon. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Lake Charles. Stay with us.
back to Sports Shorts Radio.
We continue with Sports Shorts Radio. Final segment of hour number one. Couple of breaking news announcements for you. The first breaking news, Joel Davis will join us at about 11:30.
Yippee!
Yeah, Joel Davis, Wooden Haven Furniture on Government Street in Baton Rouge. He'll join us about 11:30. He's freed up from his schedule.
As he would say, better
So
late
all
than
you
never.
Joel Davis fans, we told you it might be 11:30.
And what's wrong with you?
Looks like it's going to be. Put your seatbelt on. But to start hour number two, we'll have Ronnie Rance, owner of the Baton Rouge Rougarou, and, of course, the Lake Charles Gumbo Gators. We'll talk to Ronnie at about 11. So that'll all be in hour number two. We're here every Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon, although next Saturday will be 9 to 11 due to the NFL Hall of Fame induction ceremonies that ESPN Radio, Baton Rouge, Lafayette Lake Charles will be carrying. So we'll go 9 to 11 from Bally's Baton Rouge Casino and Hotel. Always fun when we go down there. Hunter, final segment here of hour number one. The Save College Sports Act has finally gotten the tip of the hat from the Big Ten and the SEC. Still a lot of layers involved in this. It's still in a holding pattern. People think it'll get passed. Not sure. There's a lot of things in there that are kind of quirky, and it's probably going to get changed numerous times before it gets passed. But it appears to have made some progress in the last day or two after sitting in a holding pattern for many weeks.
Yeah, well, both conferences voted to back the bill after receiving concession about language that was regarding the third-party name, image, and likeness deals within the bill itself, and what they would call associated entities. So that was the reasoning for them saying, all right, yeah, we finally like the way that it's currently written and everything. But like you mentioned, it's still got a crazy way to go and many layers to get through. And one of the reasons, though, that it had not gone through was a lot of the Senate committee members had said that the way that it was currently written, it would create chaos and eliminate opportunities for student athletes, which has been the biggest issue of why nothing has changed over the last 5-6 years with NIL, is because we've said it before, TK, and I'm going to use the same analogy. I don't know the way to describe it. When you let the genie out of the bottle, you can't put him back in. And that's the prime example of what is wrong with NIL and in its current stage right now, where the whole reason it came about was because it wanted to create opportunities for student athletes. It created endless, no guardrail opportunities for student athletes. Now that they've had those opportunities, it's, we're impending on their rights and we're not allowing them to get their full potential of deals if we add these guardrails that they're trying to put together. So a lot of people are not on board with it. And that's because they've been so used to the way that it is that if it changes, you go, well, you're restricting us and you're not allowing us. And then it's just going to create more lawsuits and more everything that we've seen for the last 25 years from student athletes and the NCAA of suing because you're limiting my my potential of making money and off my name, image, and likeness. And I'm not sure that this new bill is going to make any impact in the long term. It may just give a slight relief until somebody gets annoyed again and starts suing and everything goes back to the way it was.
There's going to be plenty of bumps in the road, plenty of hiccups as we go forward. Namely, a judge in Colorado, part of the Save College Sports Act says 5 years to play, 5 years of sports. It used to be 5 years to play 4. Well, a judge in Colorado says that's not fair to the people who started their career in 2022 and have completed their 4 years of eligibility. You can't tell them they can't have a fifth year if you're telling other people. Now, that's an injunction thing, which could go away. But to say the least, the NCAA is a total mess. Total mess from the top to the bottom. NIL portal lawsuits, Ole Miss suing LSU players, the judge in Colorado, and there's plenty of cases of stuff that we probably don't even know about going on in different parts of the country. The Stanford women's basketball team's trying to unionize. That's been tried 100 times in the last 30 years. I go back in the 90s, Northwestern football, not the Demons up in Natchitoches, Northwestern Wildcats up in Illinois, tried to form a union. It didn't work. You've had men's basketball teams on the East Coast try to do a union. It didn't work. Sooner or later, I think it's going to happen, but not soon.
Well, and the news broke only a few hours after the NCAA lost a pair of court rulings. It's something that we mentioned a few months ago with them trying to allow Division I athletes 5 years to compete with 5 seasons of eligibility. They were trying to, once again, put these guardrails on eligibility after, COVID caused them to be able to have extra years, things like that. Things kind of got out of sorts, but both pairs of those court rulings failed yesterday, so it doesn't look like those guardrails are going up anytime soon.
Yeah, probably not. So you need a lot of time to keep up with all this. I guess you just sit back and see what happens and then digest it.
This is how jumbled it is, man.
It's going to change countless times between now and if it does get passed. And there's no guarantee that it gets passed. With the Big Ten and the SEC kind of applauding it, saying, okay, we're good with it, that certainly helps. But there's nobody in Big Ten or SEC country, no congressperson that would vote for it if the SEC or the Big Ten don't want it. All right, we're going to wrap it down here in hour number 1 from Fat Daddy's in Plaquemine, the sandwich of the month, the Buffalo Chicken Biscuits. We'll tell you more about that in hour number 2. We'll have Ronnie Rance at 11, Joel Davis coming at about 11:30. We're here till 12 noon. Sports Shorts Radio, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Lake Charles. Stay with us.
We'll have one. WDGL HD2, Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. This is Sports Shorts Radio.
We continue with Sports Shorts Radio, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and Lake Charles. Another hour to go. We're here till noon at Fat Daddy's, Little Daddy's in Plaquemine. Right now, we say hello to Ronnie Rance. Good morning, Ronnie. How are you?
I'm doing great, fellas. Thanks for having me on this championship Saturday.
Well, one thing you're missing, Ronnie, The sandwich of the month is buffalo chicken biscuits. It's a fried chicken patty tossed in buffalo sauce, little pepper jack cheese, little house dressing. You get 2 of them for $12.99. They brought us a couple of them, and Hunter devoured.
Yeah, you're missing out, man.
Ronnie, you're missing out on the sandwich of the month.
When did we start doing biscuits?
That's what I'm saying.
It's buffalo chicken biscuits. It's fantastic.
And Ron, I know as a breakfast connoisseur yourself, I know you know that the biscuit, it has to be perfect. It's the key to making a sandwich. It is one of the best biscuits I ever have. It is fluffy. It is moist. It is really good. You got to come stop by before the end of August.
I will definitely. Yeah, no.
I need your review.
We'll make our excuse to come over there and see that, man. They're digging in the bag, huh? If we're starting to go biscuits.
No, and it's an A.
Over in Plaquemine.
A+.
It's an A+, no doubt. Ronnie, you mentioned it. It's championship Saturday, the Haddock Trophy. Baton Rouge, Rougarou will have to give it up to somebody tonight. Let's hope it stays in Louisiana. Give us the very latest rundown on the contest. 7 o'clock tonight, people can watch at TexasCollegiateLeague.com, watch the stream, and see the Gumbo Gators and the Victoria Generals for all the marbles. One game tonight.
Yeah, man, it's exciting, right? Texas Collegiate League baseball action. So, people ask all the time, there's always a little bit of confusion as to what is it. And my best way I explain is say it's minor league baseball except with college players. That's the simplest way to explain it. All these guys are going to college and in college and for the Gumbo Gators, much like a lot of teams, I think there's two stories here. One, Victoria has been able to keep a lot of their team intact all summer. People may think that that's strange, but in summer college baseball, you have a lot of transactions and a lot of changeover in your roster from June 1 to August 1. Not all guys will play the whole summer. Some guys will play parts of the summer, and some of those things are agreed upon prior to the summer, so it's not like a surprise. Some are surprises. And then you have injuries and things like that along the way, and unlike an injury that you may play through in the spring, a lot of times in the summertime, an injury is an excuse to shut it down completely. And so, Victoria, to their credit, veteran organization that's been in the championship game many, many times and do a good job. They've been able to keep a lot of I think that most of their 90% of their pitchers are the same pitchers they've had since day one of the season. Had some changeover in position players, but they are the team to beat. They're the favorite. They're the number one seed. They won the championship, the best record in June. They had the best overall record for the summer. They're at home, so they're a minus. I would say if Hunter McCann was putting a line on this game, I would think that Victoria is minus 160.
Okay,
minus 160, I think.
Yeah. Well, when you go to a championship game 4 years in a row, that's kind of where that line would probably be. Yeah.
And for the Gumbo Gators, the story there is, James Landreneau in his first year as head coach. People that maybe don't know that name should. James Landreneau just re-signed with McNeese, got a long contract as their head softball coach. He's led them to 6 NCAA regional appearances in the last 10 years, and just a fantastic coach. He could coach anything. Guy was a baseball player himself, coached baseball, put together a fantastic travel ball organization years ago. His son Jackson just finished up his career at LSU Eunice and is going to move on. And this was about those two guys kind of being able to spend the summer together and coach together. I think it was an itch that James wanted to scratch. Sometimes it's fun to change it up a little bit, go from coaching girls and softball to coaching guys in baseball. I hadn't done it in a while, and then to be able to do it with his son. Obviously, they don't get to spend as much time together the older he's getting, and both their schedules are crazy busy. Because one's an athlete and one's a coach, and so this was about that. And James has been amazing, and to be able to on the inside to get to know him, to get to watch him work and interact with the players, it's easy to see why McNeese has been so successful in softball under his leadership. And he had the opportunity to leave McNeese this year. He had a number of offers. He even went and explored some of those offers, but then decided to stay at McNeese, and sometimes and of course they upped all the things that you need to do to keep coaches. And so we were happy to have him. I don't foresee this being a long-term arrangement. I think it was kind of maybe of a one and done type deal. So we may be in the market for searching for a new head coach next year, but we're going to enjoy him while we have him. And he's got the Gumbo Gators in the championship game. And that's no small task because, Lake Charles has been decimated with injuries over a couple of weeks. They've had, they're playing with about four of their regular nines, 4 or 5 maybe at most of their regular 9 starters in the lineup, but yet still finding a way to win.
Well, and let's mention the Gumbo Gators in the semifinals took 2 in a row in a best-of-3 against the Acadiana Cane Cutters, who had a strong first half of the season. That's how they qualified for the playoffs. And the Cane Cutters with Darian Dukes, they're always a good, solid team. The Gumbo Gators got by them in a little bit of an upset in the semifinal round, so give the Cane Cutters a lot of credit, but the Gumbo Gators will play for the title tonight.
Yeah, Cane Cutters, they were both evenly matched games, could have gone either way. The Gumbo Gators won 2-1 on Tuesday in Lake Charles, and then won 3-1 over in Lafayette, or in Youngsville technically. They were both, a lot of woulda, coulda, shoulda for either team in that series.
All right, so that'll be tonight, 7 o'clock. People can watch at TexasCollegiateLeague.com. We're getting a lot of comments today, Ronnie. The Go Gumbo Gators. Now we got one, Go Generals. We got people in Victoria, Texas that are watching this tonight. The stream will start about 6:45, first pitch, 7 o'clock or a few minutes after. You can watch it at TexasCollegiateLeague.com. Ronnie, we got many Gumbo Gators fans making the trip over to Victoria.
Yeah, we do have some. I mean, I don't know what the number is going to look like. I know we had about 50 people that made the trip over to Lafayette, Louisiana for the game on Wednesday night. Obviously, it's a little bit of a longer haul. But I expect we'll have 30, 40 Gumbo Gator fans. And look, the 50 that was there were loud the other night in Lafayette.
Well, Ronnie, and the Gumbo Gators, your team, they got to watch the now in first place Houston Astros last night take down the Texas Rangers. Astros are in first place.
Yeah,
that kind of happened quietly in the last month, but the Gumbo Gator Club and coaches, I saw some pictures on social media. They got to check out a little MLB before playing in the TCL title game.
Yeah, it's just a little reward for those guys on the way over. Instead of just eating dinner and going to the hotel, we brought them to the game, and so that was good for them to bond and go see what the ultimate goal is, right? All those guys for both anybody playing college baseball at any level is what dreams of playing in the major leagues, and got a chance to see Josh Smith and your Rangers lose to the Astros.
Hey, Ronnie, let's talk real quick. I know you're consumed with the TCL title game tonight, but the New Orleans Saints opened practice last week. Hunter went 2 different days to the practice. The big contract for Olave, Breesy, the defensive lineman, out for the year with an ACL. The Saints have got it rolling, Ronnie. First exhibition game comes up in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think the Breesy loss is a little bigger loss than people realize. I feel like he's a guy who really came into his own when on the field. He's a difference maker, and so that's I hate that for the Saints. 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. I mean, within 5 minutes of practice, the dude is out for the year. I mean, that is just terrible.
He also got injured real quietly. None of the media even knew it happened until after the news broke, because he got injured and they just went early to the clubhouse and no one even thought twice about it, really.
Yeah, no, that's just devastating. I'm glad they were able to lock up Olave. Like I told Tommy the other day, it's not my money, so you got $90 million guaranteed, whatever. Do I love that? Do you think Olave? I'll ask you, Hunter. Do you think Olave is a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL?
See, and that's where I can't say. I think he has top 10 potential, and I think if he played like he does, the last 7 games he did last year, then yes, but. Tommy and I talked about it a lot in hour number 1. The kind of storyline around him had been the injuries, but if you go back and look at his availability, he played 16 games in his first season, 15 in his second, and then it was that 2024 season that he only played 8 games, where that storyline of the concussions and keeping him off the field and blah blah blah. But last year he played a full year, and each of those years he played 15 plus. Games, he was over 1,000 yards, and last year he had 9 touchdowns, which was the career high. So if you do that again, I mean, you have the potential to be so, and he may get more targets this year with Jordan Tyson opening up the other side of the field. So we'll see, but not in its current form.
Hey, Ronnie, of course, McNeese Cowboys, the Raging Cajuns, and the LSU Tigers all getting ready to report college football 5 weeks from tonight.
On the doorstep.
LSU plays. Southern plays the week before that, but across the state of Louisiana, college football getting ready to crank up.
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, I as much as I think the older I've gotten, I've become more of an LSU fan than a Saints fan by a hair. It used to be the other way around for me. That I think I was a little more excited about Sundays and Saturdays, but that really hasn't been the case. I think for the last maybe 10 years or so, and particularly now with Lane Kiffin and everything that's happening. How about this though, which is interesting? Matt Moscona, I saw his post where he showed. But make sure I'm reading this correctly, where he showed the team getting on Gordon McKernan's plane, right? A group of LSU QBs and wide receivers from Gordon McKernan's plane to Dallas to work with Throw It Deep. The 9 players in attendance left Thursday and will return Sunday. LSU's reports for camp Tuesday with their first practice on Wednesday. Here's the thing that shocks me. How much money is that? How many coaches, analysts does LSU have? How much money are they spending on staff? And we have to outsource the coaching? I mean, like, really? Like, still?
A bit
what
strange.
I mean? Like, I mean, what do we got? 30 coaches and analysts probably in that building when you add them all up? At least.
At least.
And I mean, the payroll on that thing combined's got to be north of $20 million with all those analysts and coaches and everything. At least, I mean, I don't know where it lands exactly, but like, and we still have to put them on a plane, fly them, VIP them to go get outsourced to throw and catch the ball. Like I just man, we just chunk money around like it's nothing.
Right, Roddy, I'm gonna steal your line, Roddy. It ain't your money.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But there's a lot of it being passed. I can tell you.
It's amazing. It's just like I swear the Billy Cannon printing press.
It's still going strong, man.
I just don't know where it is, but I want to find it because the Rougarou and the Gumbo Gators need some. I mean, the amount of money that LSU athletics throws around in basketball and football and everything, like, I don't want to hear it. I feel bad for Jay Johnson, and these coaches that when they go and they stand now in these cocktail parties and they talk about how broke we are because it's BS. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Just don't want to hear it.
Ron, just so you know, in full transparency, because you weren't here for this part of the segment, and you might want to know, sometimes you like to throw some money down when we get to football season. If you've been waiting for the LSU Clemson line to drop behind that magic number of 10, the Tigers are now 9.5-point favorites over Clemson in 5 weeks. So you can get it at 9.5 now. I'm looking specifically at FanDuel. So just so you know, getting closer to that game.
So, here's the thing, though, Hunter, is do you really feel like you have a read on how good LSU is or how good Clemson is? How could you?
No, that's what I told Tommy that.
Optimistic.
So I told Tommy this earlier. That this season will be truly the season of hindsight, where I can give you a great argument as to why LSU will win only 8 games. I can give you a great reason why LSU would go undefeated. And at the end of the year, you'll be able to look back and go, man, why did we even think of the other side of the coin? Because on one hand, LSU has spent $1 bajillion. They bring in the one of, if not the best head coach in the SEC into LSU. You can bring in Sam Leavitt, who if he plays like he did in 2024, could be a Heisman contender. And you bring in the offensive talents of Charlie Weiss and company. And of course, this LSU team is going to go undefeated. Man, they'd be great. Or you can look at the reality of, it's a brand new team with 70% new players, the brand new head coach, and the toughest conference to play. And of course, LSU wasn't going to in year one be able to figure it all out and have everything mesh perfectly. We have no idea what we're going to see this season.
Right. We're projecting what Sam Leavitt is going to do.
Right.
And by the way, Scadaboo's not on this team. By the way.
Oh yeah.
He kind of played a big role in his success a couple years ago.
Scadaboo may not know what team he does play for currently.
Well, he keeps doing backflip, trying to do backflips. He's not going to be on anybody's team.
Yeah, but I mean, like it's just wild how we feel like we know, and when the sport that matters the most, chemistry, camaraderie, all being on the same page, the offensive line or defensive line all moving, in synchronicity and all this stuff, like, but yet they just met each other.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
they just
right.
And they're gonna, they're still just learning each other's names and favorite and what city you're from and all that. Like, what 6 schools did you go to before you came here to Baton Rouge? They're all learning all that about each other. So I don't know. It's just it's fun to project, but like I don't know, man. I feel like I've gotten burned so many times on LSU at the first game.
I'm not advising you to take it, but there's the information, and you can do with it as you will.
No, I mean, I feel like I might, outside of just at the right before the game, throw a Tommy Chrysan level bet on something just to have some fun. I don't feel like I can absolutely know anything. I think I'm just going to go into that game rooting for a Tiger win, even if it's 1 point and it's ugly as hell. Just start 1-0. That's all that matters.
All right, Ronnie, before you go, tonight's championship game, 1 game winner take all. Lake Charles Gumbo Gators in Victoria, Texas, to take on the Generals. People can watch it at TexasCollegiateLeague.com. Watch the stream and see if the Gumbo Gators can keep the title in Louisiana.
What a story!
Yeah, it's looking forward to it. Hey, look, this is the old 1990s version of championship games, right? 1 game winner take all. I mean, that's the Skip Bertman won 5 of them. So hopefully a little of that the Skip Bertman magic dust rubs off on me and then on to the team today. And so check it out at TexasCollegiateLeague.com. It's worth the $9.99 to watch the championship game and see if we can bring the title back to the Chuck. You guys have a great one over there. Enjoy the biscuits without.
Oh yeah,
we'll do that. All right, Ryan. Thank you.
Fellas.
Hey, before we go to break, we remind you about River of Life capsules. riveroflifecapsules.com is the website where you can get the free consultation with Patrick. You can read all about it. But I can tell you right now, the new formula targets both physical aches and mental stress at the same time. Recovery support. It helps muscles and joints recover after a strain. That's what you get when you get riveroflifecapsules.com. You're looking for better sleep, pain relief, stress management. riveroflifecapsules.com. Ashwagandha and turmeric are the combined ingredients that work in the new formula. If you got aches and pains, I'm telling you, it's worth $40 a month to go get River of Life capsules, riveroflifecapsules.com. I know, Hunter, you're a big fan.
Absolutely.
I've been taking them for over 2.5 years now.
Yeah, and you feel the difference. And they talk about side effects. Well, River of Life gives you positive side effects because it's all natural ingredients. It's going to be able to make you feel better the way that it was intended to be done. Not with all these chemicals going through your body, but the natural stuff that gives you those positive side effects for those aches and joint pains. It'll really make a difference. Go give Patrick Scallon a call. You will not regret it. It'll really change your life.
Again, physical aches and mental stress, take care of it. That alone right there is the reason. Read up on it. Get a free consultation with Patrick Scallon. He'll join us next week on the air to tell us more about it. riveroflifecapsules.com. You do want to check it out. Now, don't forget, Joel Davis comes up in about 10 or 11 minutes. We will have Joel Davis moving from his hour number 1 slot to he'll come out of the 11:30 break. We'll have Joel Davis with us then, so he'll be ready. So get your seatbelt on.
And when we come back, I have a little bit of MLB news. I got some stat I want to throw your way.
I got one for you too.
Okay, good. Let's do that.
I wonder if it's the same stat.
I wonder, is it Paul Skeens related?
No.
Okay, well then we're not talking the same thing.
If you're a Boston Red Sox fan, you got to hear the stat that I have.
Okay.
Or a Paul Skeens fan. We'll do that when we come back at Fat Daddy's, where the sandwich of the month is the buffalo chicken biscuits, a fried chicken patty tossed in buffalo sauce, pepper jack cheese, house dressing. You get 2 of them for $12.99. It is a great deal, not to mention the rest of the menu here at Fat Daddy's in Plaquemine. We'll take a break. We'll come back with a little bit of baseball talk for you. Hunter McCann, Tommy Chrysan with you. Thank you for watching. Like and share this show, whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or X. We'll be right back. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Lake Charles, ESPN Radio.
Now back to Sports Shorts Radio.
We continue with Sports Shorts Radio from Fat Daddy's in Plaquemine. Need to stop by here, get the sandwich of the month, get one of the many other things on the menu. Get you a cold beer, get you a little something to drink, got some sports on the TV screens. And they're expanding here at Fat Daddy's. Going to have some more table space, more elbow room for you. Hunter McCann, Tommy Krysan with you coming up in about 8 minutes. Joel Davis, you don't want to miss that. Hunter, we got some baseball stuff for people. First off, the trade deadline's coming up Monday at 5 o'clock Louisiana time. Going to be some names move. We just don't know where. But you got some interesting stats on Paul Skeens.
Yeah, we'll start
there.
I
watched Skeens throw last night. Giving up the long ball. He's had a rough month of July, to say the least.
Yeah, so he's now 9-9 in the win-loss.
He didn't
on the
get
record
a
for the
decision
year.
last night.
Correct. Yeah,
he almost got the loss, but he got off the hook.
His ERA is nearing 4 now. He's at 3.90 ERA. Still 156 punch-outs on the year and a whip of 1.11. But this statistic for you is what surprised me. This was put out this morning by DraftKings. This wasn't my research. Give them credit where credit is due. It's about his velocity. And you may be interested to hear this stat. So in his first season,
I'm very curious actually.
In 2024, right? He didn't play a full season. That's when he got called up in the middle of the year for the Pirates. He pitched 689 pitches north of 98 miles an hour. Okay, last season when he won the Cy Young, 863 pitches north of 98 miles per hour. Now about 2/3 of the way through the MLB season in 2026. Okay, last year, like I said, 863 pitches north of 98 last year. Tommy, would you like to take a guess of how many pitches north of 98 miles per hour Paul Skeens has pitched this season?
Out of how many?
You don't know. Okay. I don't know the total, but just over the course of he's pitched in north of 20 games this year. So
I'm going to say 100.
Yeah, you're pretty close. Only 95 pitches north of 98 miles per hour.
Is shrinking.
The velo is shrinking. I mean, exponentially shrinking. Where his fastball was usually not even touching below 98 miles per hour for a majority of his pitches through college and through his first 2 years in the MLB. Only 95 pitches.
Well, everybody's arm, unless you name Nolan Ryan, everybody's arm is going to run out of gas. You can't throw that hard for that long, unless you're Nolan Ryan, who did it well into his 40s. But that's an exception. That was a God-given talent that just happened to be there. But I'm not surprised to see it coming down a little bit.
But by that, I mean, that's a huge jump. There's something going on with the arm. If it jumps,
there
that
is,
much.
And the fact that he had a rough July. Okay. He had a rough opening outing in the season when they made some errors behind him that weren't ruled errors, but then he had a pretty good streak day. Took no hitter into the 7th inning. He had some, but the last month he has struggled a good bit. Maybe the workload is adding up. Again, you got nobody throws that hard forever.
Yeah.
And here's what's happening. Why July did. These are major league hitters. Okay, you make a mistake and they can get their foot down and hit it. Okay, and they're not worried about 99 or 101. If they know it's coming, they can hit it. They're major league hitters for a reason.
Sure.
Well, there's more of a book out on Skeens, and if they know that velo's coming down a little bit, which they know it, if you know it, and whoever did that research DraftKings. So anyway, I'm not surprised by it. So we'll see how does he do in August? He threw last night. He won't throw for 5 or 6 days.
But see, I think it more so surprised me, like looking at this stat, it's not just like, he only pitched 95 pitches of 98 plus in July where he has struggled. This has been a season-long issue. And now even more so, maybe, it took this long for teams to realize where the velo had gone and that it wasn't exceeding, where it was the past 2 years. But this is a big jump. It's not like you're seeing half the pitches that are now. I mean, you're talking about 75 to 80% of a decrease from the years prior, and it comes in the velo, and that tells me there's something wrong with the arm. It may not be anything catastrophic, but something is off with Paul Skeens. He's not where he was.
Well, and time will tell on that. All right, Hunter, I got one for you before we go to break and come back with Joel Davis.
Yeah, tell me.
The Boston Red Sox, you heard of them?
I think I have. Yeah.
Okay.
Wasn't that team that got really hot out of nowhere?
Yeah, won 15 straight, huh? Check this out, Hunter. This is gonna blow your mind. This is gonna be mind-boggling. Through 108 games. Okay, 108 games in the books. This year, the Red Sox record is 57-51.
Yep.
Last year, through 108 games, 57-51.
Okay.
2 years ago, through 108 games,
No way.
57-51. 3 years ago, through 108 games, 57-51. The Red Sox identical records through 108 games the last 4 years. That could be one of the more amazing stats you will ever see in the history of any sport.
What are the odds of that? I mean, seriously.
Oh, I wish you'd have been best bet guy.
Yeah, I mean that's impossible.
That's nuts.
That's impossible.
That's crazier than the Shreveport Pilots going 59-0 a couple of years ago.
Well, that's where consistency is made. Apparently, is in Boston.
The LSU Shreveport Pilots.
By the way, before we go to break, just want to tell you, I just have to say one thing. Tommy, trade deadline Monday. The Cubs need Tarek Skubal. I need it to happen. I'm going to will it into existence.
He's going to the
I got to put it. I got to put it out in the universe to the Cubs.
He's going to Dodgers.
Go Skubal.
All right. Don't forget about Marchand's, your premier flooring dealer in the greater Baton Rouge area, located in Gonzales, Ascension Parish. They got a team of experts. Whatever type flooring you need, wood, vinyl, carpet, whatever you need. They got a team of experts that'll get you what you need in your budget. Marchand's Interior and Hardware. Connect with them on Facebook, marchands.net. Your premier flooring dealer in the greater Baton Rouge area is Marchand's. You'll be glad you dealt with Marchand's. We'll take a break. When we come back, Joel Davis will join us here at Fat Daddy's, where the sandwich of the month is the Buffalo Chicken Biscuits. Joel Davis up next. Put your seatbelt on. We'll be right back. Baton Rouge, Lafayette Lake Charles, ESPN Radio.
Welcome back to Sports Shorts Radio.
We continue with Sports Shorts Radio. Hunter McCann and Tommy Krysan with you. Ronnie Rance just joined us on the phone. We're at Fat Daddy's in Plaquemine, and right now we go to the phone lines. Joel Davis, Woodenhaven Furniture on Government Street in Baton Rouge, is on the phone with us. Good morning, Joel. How are you?
Yeah, guys. I mean, I'm on the show more than Ron is, and that's the problem. I mean, it's starting to get a little absurd. I mean, let's just take him off the banner, take him off the marquee. I mean, let's just change the name of the show to the Locker Room Show, like I've been wanting to do forever.
The Locker Room Show.
Locker Room Show.
The Locker Room.
Okay.
No, not the Locker Room Show.
Okay.
The Locker Room. That's what I thought. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it is. You're in the locker room. You're talking. You're chopping it up. You're doing things in the locker before you take the field, before you go in the weight room. It's kind of like the locker room.
Okay,
Just
well,
call it the locker room. But Ron won't do it because it's sports shorts. I mean, sports shorts. I mean, give me a break, dude.
Hey,
I
Joel.
thought we need to rebrand this thing, especially he's never on the show.
Yeah, well, it's not the Ronnie Show, but obviously it's more the Joel Show than the Ronnie Show. Joel, speaking of the locker room, what do you think's going on in the locker room for your New Orleans Saints?
Well, I think that they're probably like, hey, how do we get another defensive tackle in here? When you lose a Brian Persee, who's going into his fourth year, they picked up his fifth-year option. That tells you how they feel about the guy. I thought he was a difference maker at times inside with the pass rush. I mean, and a guy like that's just going to get better with age, right? A guy with his ability is, as he gets older, he's not even into his man strength yet, right? This guy's in his early 20s. He hadn't even really hit his peak as far as strength, but his agility, his ability to get to the quarterback, his ability to create pressure was fantastic. He just needs to get better in the run. That would have happened as he got older. And it's just to take him off the field. I think that you would have seen a little bit more of that from him this year. But, man, you're going to lose that interior pass rush, and that's a big deal. That's a big loss, man.
Well, if there's any silver lining, it happened on the first day. You got 4 or 5 weeks to figure out, what move you got to make or who has to step up. It's, you hate for anybody to get hurt, but if it's got to happen, do it when it did, not, the week of the season opener.
Oh, and the dude didn't even break a sweat. I mean, you tear your ACL walking out onto the field.
Yeah.
I mean, you stretch it and you tear your ACL. I mean, it's incredible how the injuries that these guys sustain, and the fact that you can go through an entire game of 4 to 5 hours, between warm-ups and the game itself and, get to the stadium and get prepared. And then all of a sudden you walk on the field and you tear your ACL.
Joel, have you been to a Saints practice yet this year? Because Hunter McCann's been to 2 of them.
Not.
He's ahead of you. He's 2.
Well,
2.
When I
Joel,
was his age, let me tell you something. When I was his age, and you don't care about the money, right? You're like, look, like I'm just trying to build my career. I want to make a name for myself. Yeah, I used to go to Thibodeau every Wednesday night. I used to drive down there to Thibodeau every Tuesday and Wednesday night when Haslett was the quarterback, when Ricky Williams was there, and we had Jeff Blake as our quarterback, and we didn't know who Drew Brees was yet. That's when Joel Davis was covering the game. So, Hunter, you got a lot of work to do, pal, because I used to drive to Thibodeau, driving to New Orleans in that nice setup. We were in a college theme park. It was terrible.
Yeah, they got the nice setup in Metairie, man. Yeah.
Hey, Joel, your reaction to Olave's 4-year extension, $90 million guaranteed, up to $132 million could be the value. Is he a top 10 receiver in the NFL?
He can be with a good quarterback, with a guy that can get him the ball consistently, and and make him a better player. Look, Drew Brees made a lot of people great, right, around him. He made the offensive line better. He made the wide receivers better. I mean, he made guys stick in a league that, that should never been in a league. You go watch it back and watch some highlights throughout the 2006 season, the 2011 season, and through his entire career. You had wide receivers come off the street and produce. So imagine if you're actually a really good wide receiver with a guy like a Drew Brees, or if Tyler Shuck turns into what we think. Yes, he's got a quarterback now. He's got a guy that can give him the ball consistently. And that's going to be a big deal. Yes, he could be a top 10 wide receiver. This is what your number one wide receivers are getting paid. So get used to it. The good thing is it's not coming out of my bank account.
You and Ronnie Ranch on the same page in that regard.
Yeah. I mean, this is what's to be expected. If you want a number one wide receiver on your team, and Chris Olave is considered a number one. By the way, you got another number one wide receiver in 3 to 4 years that's going to be looking for this kind of money. Imagine what the money's going to look like when Jordan Tyson's contract comes up to play in 4 years. I mean, you're talking about $130 million now. Are we going to be talking about $230 million in
Probably.
4 years for a wide receiver making $60, $70 million a year? It's insane money, guys. The money that these guys are getting it's just, it's not generational wealth. It's 3 generations of wealth.
But it makes Olave the 6th highest wide receiver in the NFL currently.
But the money's insane in the NBA, where it's been for years, NFL, MLB, college football payrolls, LSU's football payroll, if you count all the coaches, is north of $70 million. It's north of $70 million.
The professional landscape for sports might be the only industry that is consistently moving up income as the world gets more expensive, because no other industry is doing that. Well,
and that's the perfect word to use. What industry? It just tells you the revenue that the NFL is making, the revenue that that league is generating through the TV money. And believe it or not, doesn't have anything to do with me and your ticket purchases. It's all about corporate.
Yeah.
Corporate ticket purchases, ticket suites,
sponsorships,
marketing, all the Budweiser and Bud Light signs in a building. All that's where they're getting their gazillions. And of course, the TV money is just insanity that each team gets. And of course, they have league share. I mean, they share whatever New York does, and whatever New York, they put it all in a pool and everybody gets the same amount. So, yes, these guys are benefiting. These players are benefiting from being part of an organization that's a gazillion dollar industry. So, if they weren't a gazillion dollar industry, they wouldn't be making that kind of money. And that's just the bottom line. And so they're benefiting from it. But what's crazy is I remember when Drew Brees signed that $20 million deal, and we were like, oh my God, how are we gonna do the cap? Drew Brees is gonna get how much? $20 million? And of course, we were happy to pay it. Now you're talking about Baker Mayfield turning his nose up to $50 million a year.
Yeah, he turned down.
Yeah, and then voiced just concerns about it too.
Come on, and he said he got disrespected.
There's a lot of toxicity happening.
I'm gonna let Joe get back to the Saints, but with all this insane money across the board, MLB is going to have a lockout on December 1st, and the fans are just going to say, okay, if you can't be happy, and Major League Baseball is getting ready to lose a gazillion fans, when I think there's going to be a lockout on December 1st, and the reaction is going to be, okay, Baker Mayfield turned down $50 million. Baseball players, what are you doing? But Joe, you said it. It's insane. LSU's football program is going to the salaries are north of $70 million. By the time you do all the road trips and you buy all the gear, that's $100 million industry, LSU football.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But hey, TK, you were bringing up Major League Baseball just a second ago. So if they go on strike for whatever reason,
well, there's going to be a lockout December 1.
And in the scabs, we do the scabs thing. Like you cross the picket line, the strike line. TK, you think I got a chance to make the Atlanta Braves roster as
after that ceremonial first pitch at the Rougarou game 2 weeks ago?
You don't think I could close out? Don't think I could come in with 6 or 7 pitches for the Braves?
I'm going to be your agent. We're going to make that work.
I'm in. I feel like I got a good 8 pitches in me.
He's gonna make it 9. We'll make
it face 3 batters.
3 out. Make it 9 pitches. We'll make it. He only comes in for immaculate innings as a closer. Bring him in the 9th. He only needs 9 to put him down.
Hey Joe,
I'm telling you, dude. I feel like I got a chance.
What's happening at Wooden Haven Furniture on Government Street?
So we just had a shipment.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Container come in. We had a container come in this morning. We've been here since 8 o'clock this morning. We had a bunch of guys come in, help us out, help us unload. It takes about 2 hours to unload one of these 40-foot high cube containers. TK, Hunter, we had over 20 custom orders on this container. So people don't know that. People come in, they sit down with us. We design their furniture for them. They'll walk around the store, get some ideas. they'll be bringing pictures from other companies. There's other products out there. The internet is our catalog, right? You bring us a picture of what you want. We'll modify it. We'll change it up so we're not copying it exactly. And then we'll make exactly what you want to your specifications. We had over 20 customers that are going through the store today, picking up their stuff, or we're delivering it, setting up deliveries. But we do a lot of custom work. If you're okay with our color schemes, we can build you anything. Now, if you don't want to work off our color schemes and the stuff that we do that's in the store, we can bring it in as raw material, sanded, and ready for you to stain it yourself or paint it, whatever you want to do.
That's awesome.
So, yes, we have been freaking slammed this morning. And I love Container Day. It's like Christmas. Every time a container, because you're pulling it all off, you're unwrapping it, and that fresh, that burnt wood smell, I love it. I love it, dude. It's been doing it for 23 years, and I hope I get to do it for another 23 more.
Joel Davis, we appreciate it as always. Go by Woodenhaven Furniture on Government Street, and Joel will be glad to sell you some furniture, talk to you about the Saints, LSU, whatever it might be. Joel, you have a super day.
Guys.
Thank you for adjusting your time schedule today. All right.
Appreciate y'all.
All right,
guys,
Joel.
bye.
See you, bud.
Joel Davis. Normally in the first hour, I had to do second hour today. Hunter, let's again tell people about the sandwich of the month here at Fat Daddy's, Little Daddy's in Plaquemine. Doors are open. Come on in. The sandwich of the month, which started today, buffalo chicken biscuits, a fried chicken patty tossed in buffalo sauce, pepper jack cheese, house dressing. You get two of them for $12.99. They brought us some out here back in hour number one, and they are no longer in existence.
Yeah, I think it may. We've had a lot of sandwiches here, and in different varieties. Obviously, they do in biscuits now and everything. That might be my second favorite sandwich I've had here, and it's so simple and simplistic, but it was so flavorful. I think what number one probably is for me, Tommy.
What?
Do you remember that Thanksgiving leftover po' boy they did into December, like right after Thanksgiving had wrapped up? Man, that sandwich, I still think about that po' boy. Hopefully they bring that back at the end of this year.
Well, they hadn't brought one back in like 5 years.
It's been a long time. But that one has my vote.
Vote on it at the end of the year. And look, me, if those of you regular listeners, I come here, I do the Sharon special.
You're a simple man.
I went away from that because of the buffalo chicken.
And it was
biscuits.
good.
And
you killed it.
Yeah.
You finished it since we last talked. It's gone.
So it's all good. And you need to stop by Fat Daddy's. They're ready to take care of you Monday through Saturday. They get open at 10 o'clock. Check them out. You can get a cold beer. You can get a soft drink. Got some gaming devices in here. It's all at Fat Daddy's in Plaquemine. And, in fact, they're expanding. They got a little additional room they're adding on here. There'll be more table space, more gaming, and more fun for you here at Fat Daddy's in Plaquemine. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back with the final segment of today's episode of Sports Shorts Radio. Don't forget that Sports Shorts Monday will be 6:30 Monday night at Court Street Cafe in Port Allen. That'll be the next show, Monday night, 6:30. You can watch it here on Facebook, YouTube, and X. Hunter McCann, Tommy Chrysan. We're back after this pause with the final segment. Baton Rouge, Lafayette Lake Charles, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, ESPN Southwest Louisiana in Lafayette and Lake Charles. Stay with us.
This is Sports Shorts Radio.
All right, final segment on Saturday, August 1. Hello, August. Goodbye, July. We're here with Sports Shorts Radio, putting a wrap on it, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Lake Charles. Let's remind you, programming note. Next Saturday, we're on the air 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. due to the NFL Hall of Fame inductions, which will be carried by the ESPN radio affiliates. So 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. next week for Sports Shorts Radio. And we'll be at Bally's Baton Rouge Casino and Hotel in the DraftKings Sportsbook area. We'll be at Bally's next Saturday. They'll be open. You'll be welcome to come out and join us. Tonight, the championship of the Texas Collegiate League. One game, winner takes all. The Lake Charles Gumbo Gators taking on the Victoria Generals. The Baton Rouge Rougarou were the champions last year. Let's see if Lake Charles can keep that title in Louisiana. Keep it in the Lake area, Lake Chuck. Bring it all over there. Lake Charles Gumbo Gators. We talked to Ronnie Rance at the beginning of this hour. They took the team to see the Astros play last night. They're in Victoria, Texas. The stream will start about 6:45. First pitch a couple minutes after 7. Go to TexasCollegiateLeague.com. Let me get that up on the screen for you here. Where did that go? Here we go. TexasCollegiateLeague.com. You can get that stream. Pay the $10. Watch the championship game. Playing for the Haddock Trophy. The Gumbo Gators of Lake Charles defeated the Acadiana Cane Cutters 2-0 in the best-of-3 semifinals. Victoria had to go all 3 games to beat Brazos Valley. They'll play one game for the title tonight in Victoria, Texas. Victoria Generals hosting the Lake Charles Gumbo Gators. Go Gators. All
right, got a couple things to give you updates in. They broke within the last hour. One of them breaking within the last minute. Ricky Pearsall, up-and-coming wide receiver for the 49ers, former Florida Gator, will undergo season-ending surgery on a PCL injury that dates back to last season. He's expected to make a full recovery and be back for the 2027 season, but the 49ers expected to be without Pearsall after he has the season-ending surgery on his PCL. Other notes, former New Orleans Saints C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who's now a safety for the Buffalo Bills, suffered a lower body injury today at training camp this morning, and about a little bit less than an hour ago was carted off the field due to that injury. No update exactly of what that would be or the severity, but something to look out for already in training camp. And Tommy, one thing I will say, I think I mentioned it 2 weeks ago about Saints as they were getting ready for training camp. The biggest thing for me was escaping training camp without any major injuries. Unfortunately, the Saints have not done that, as we've talked about multiple times with Brian Brzee going down. But, get no more. Get through the rest of training camp, get into the season with this Saints team and with the pieces that they've added, and you feel pretty good about them at least making the jump of being competitive, especially in the NFC South. But you just gotta keep the injury bug to a very much a minimum with this team, because I don't believe the depth is very much is there.
Well, and the NFC South is there for the taking. Okay, Baker Mayfield, the Buccaneers, they got drama. The Falcons don't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
Their top 2 guys not scheduled to be playing, have been hurt. And then you got the Carolina Panthers, who
also had a little bit of injury bug.
They've got a little better last year, but there's still plenty of reason to be optimistic about the Saints going forward. We'll see how it goes. But like you said, get through the exhibition season, get to that regular season, and don't have any major injuries. So a lot of excitement nationally about the Saints, too. No question about that.
Other public service announcement we wanted to tell everybody before they go. Also, in case you missed it today, LSU's officially below the 10-point mark on being favorites in the Clemson game. 9.5 points on most books. If you were waiting for that to drop, here's your public service announcement. The LSU Tigers are now 9.5-point favorites.
And that game's 5 weeks from today. 5 weeks from today.
Can you believe we're already almost
here, man? College football. You got ESPN Game Day will be in town. Lane Kiffin, Dabo Sweeney, LSU Tigers. National TV on a Saturday night. That's Labor Day weekend.
When you get to August, man, you start tasting it, man.
It's 5 weeks away. That's amazing.
It's here. The summer months somehow flew by, even though around town here in Baton Rouge, there wasn't much sports going on with LSU baseball being eliminated earlier than everyone and hoped they would be. Didn't even make any type of postseason contention. And then after that, it's just kind of been a drought. But when you get to August, man, like I say, you start to taste it, Tommy. You're almost there. The wait is almost over back for football for the New Orleans Saints. the LSU Tigers, Southern Jaguars, Raging Cajuns,
McNeese
Cowboys, anybody in between.
Southeastern Lions, they're getting excited about their season coming up and all that good stuff too. So it's really here, and of course the high school football people. Hey, backing it up, I want to thank Ronnie Rance. He joined us at about 11 o'clock on his en route to Victoria, Texas for the Gumbo Gators in the championship game of the Texas Collegiate League tonight. Also, we had Joel Davis in hour number 2. We had to move him on the clock. Speaking of moving the clock, Sports Shorts Radio next week, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Moving on the clock, 9 to 11 next Saturday from Bally's Baton Rouge Casino and Hotel, downtown Baton Rouge. So LSU will report and begin practicing this week. So, Hunter, as they say, when August 1 gets here, football's here, right?
Here. And I'll be interested to see how camp looks for the Tigers here and everything. And if they can really make everything gel, like we hope they can, because there's a lot of untapped potential going into this season and a lot of questions that need to be answered around Lane Kiffin and his staff, and of course Sam Levitt at quarterback. And can we see him return to what he was like 2 years ago? Because if he does, he could be really dangerous here in the SEC.
Yeah, no question about that. Well, we appreciate everybody watching on Facebook, YouTube, and X, everybody listening on 104.5 ESPN in Baton Rouge and ESPN Southwest Louisiana, covering Lafayette and Lake Charles markets. Again, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. next week. Follow us all on social media. You'll know that you'll be reminded about that change on the clock. Special thanks to the good people here at Fat Daddy's and the Buffalo Chicken Biscuit Sandwich of the Month. Stop by in August and get that. Or for Hunter McCann, I'm Tommy Krysan. Braxton back at the studio.
For nearly a century, Cummins has been making standby generators for life's